not cooperating.
Hey, weirdos. It's me, Dan.
And Jake. Hey, weirdos. It's been a while.
It has.
There we go. We're recording now, are we? It's working?
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, welcome. Welcome to the One Foot in the Grave podcast.
Here we are.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
We've
not a lot
times.
has changed.
No. It's, what's it been? About 2 weeks, maybe.
I don't know. Today I am actually drinking, I'm going to have a gin and tonic.
What time is it there?
I don't know.
8:45 in the morning.
No, if it's 8, what time is it there?
9:45 at night.
It's 11:45 in the morning.
You're close enough. Gin and tonic in the morning.
Yeah.
Sun's over the yardarm.
Over the what?
Over the yardarm. That's an old. That's what pirates. Well, actually, just anybody who works on boats. The yardarm was. It's the arm that goes across the mainmast, and depending on where you're standing, the sun's over it, so you can start drinking. So it's a history lesson. Fuck. We did the Mary Celeste. Damn it.
I'm trying to tell you, I was going to, speaking of fascinating, let me just ramble for 20 minutes as I try to find the type of gin that I'm drinking, because I reordered that stuff that guy gave us as a present.
Okay.
Man, it is some delicious gin.
It's good for those with hemochromatosis.
Yeah.
That's news.
We're slowly dying.
We both probably have hemochromatosis. I got thinking about it. You know how there's a rapper named
Whitley Neal. Whitley Neal is the name of my gin, handcrafted in small
delicious.
batches.
I'm having a Foghorn Brewing Company Golden Grover British Golden Ale. Because might as well speed things up.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is we had Dr. Dre the rapper.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, how much better it would be getting bad news from Snoop Dogg. I realize he's not the same guy as Dr. Dre, but I believe they work together. And I was like, what would he call hemochromatosis? He'd be like, I can't do it without sounding racist, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. I figured he'd say, "Look, dog, got some bad news. You got the hematizzle chromatizzle, mizzle chromatizzle. You got the pancreasal kazancer, yo."
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
So I'm all good.
That sounds really cool, Snoop. No, man, you only got 2 days to levizzle. I feel like that would be a better way of breaking the bad news. If you had to decode the bad news.
Well, yeah. So they're testing my levels today, and then they're doing I have to pay $70 for that genetic test if I have to have it done.
Well, that's not so bad.
No, not too bad. But then they're also testing my testosterone levels, which I thought was really funny.
What are the odds?
Because you were accused of having low T, so
could be. What do you do if you have low T? Do you just take like bull shark testosterone and just drip jizz all over the house everywhere you walk?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like
little dots of cum on the floor everywhere.
I thought sucking on everyone's nuts was all that it took, but apparently you don't get testosterone that way. I'm just going to turn down my gain a little bit.
I'd been having the ball pain again. Speaking of testosterone.
What?
Did I tell you about my ball pain story where I went and scanned my own testicles and then realized they were on a feed going to the...
Yeah.
Anyway, I figured... I looked up like all the blood work and I was like, oh shit, maybe I have cancer. Hopefully it's hemochromatosis. Nobody's ever hoped to have hemochromatosis, but I was like, beats leukemia. Anyway, so I was... and then I was like, man, my testicle's been really sore. So I did go and do the scan of the ball sack again. All good. And looked at my liver. Liver looked okay. So I'm just... I think it'll be fine. Whatever.
Yeah, well...
No one lives forever.
No. And what a way to go. I mean, no beer, no bread, no fun.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I think I'd find it harder giving up bread than beer.
Oh, same.
Yeah. I have a friend with hemochromatosis, and he said, well, the only beer he can't drink is Guinness.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What's going on?
My wife wants me to water the fucking plants.
Will do.
Okay.
Consider it done.
There we go. You can stop texting me now.
Now, a normal podcaster would edit that out, but not us.
Not
one foot in the grave.
Oh, Christ! Shut up, woman!
Don't forget the ferns. Now, your wife is lovely. You don't want to be too, rude.
Yeah, no, she's
Aaron's
lovely, just not in text form.
No, I can't stand. I don't like texting.
I just don't like send me one text with all of the thoughts instead of
40 texts. Also, you got to change the sound of the text. The incoming text, you get attuned to that like noise, and it starts irritating you, and then you have to change the noise. I found that did help.
I've got hers set differently to everyone else, so hers goes dee 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 dee.
What's the most annoying thing I can do to you? I don't know. Change your text sound. I was on call last night, and man, I got like a million calls. It was really busy. I was up all night, and then I went to get Mom and Dad some groceries today.
Yeah.
And I went to the superstore, and I'd been hanging out with them, and I love hanging out with Mom and Dad, but I do find it kind of emotionally exhausting. So so I drove to the superstore. I was really tired. It was like 3 p.m, and I was listening to True Crime Garage podcast.
Yeah.
And I parked, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna like rest my eyes for a second here and listen to my podcast. And then an hour later, I woke up and somebody was knocking on the window, doing like a wellness check, see if there was a dead person in the car. Yeah. I must have burned through like an eighth of a tank of gas. I left the thing running.
I've taken the pipe out of your exhaust pipe. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, attempted suicide? No, just fell asleep at the grocery store.
Yeah. Well,
we put out a call for like hometown murder stories.
For not sending us anything.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, we do have some listeners, but I don't think a lot of people follow us on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. So we're on there, and we are taking tips.
Send nudes. No, don't actually. I've seen the majority of our listeners on Facebook, and
send nudes.
Do not send nudes.
No.
I bought tiki torches yesterday because now I'm all into the outdoors and have the pools up.
Oh yeah.
And look, for something so ordinary, they are very dangerous.
The tiki torch?
Yes.
Well, it's like an oil lamp, isn't it? It's like a wick that sits in oil.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't take into consideration the people who do this. So I filled them up, and then I overflowed them a little bit, as you do.
Yeah.
And then it went all through like the bamboo and stuff.
Oh, fuck, great.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, it will be fine.
Everything's a wick.
And it literally turned into a torch, but like everything burned. So we had a makeshift bonfire.
All the tiki torches.
The house,
the pool deck. You know that scene? You're talking about torches. You know that scene in Indiana Jones when he gets thrown in the pit with all the snakes, and he holds the torch and like holds it up to the snake and they scares it away and all that stuff. Every time I watch it, I think that's what I would be like in Dan's backyard if after sunset. I would assume everything was a snake, and I would have to have a flaming torch and be like, burning.
We've got automatic lights that turn on when I take the bins out and stuff like that.
Are the snakes afraid of the lights?
No.
No, mate.
But when people come over to visit our house, they turn off all the lights because there's 4 light switches, and they just want to turn on the light to the laundry.
Yeah.
And they turn them all off. So then I get halfway out the door, and the light doesn't turn on, and I'm walking in pitch black just going, I really hope that there's not a snake here because I can't see anything.
Well, it is super dark there too. Like you're a bit rural, and there is no natural. There's no man-made light sort of where you live.
Especially when people turn off the lights.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm more scared of the snakes or the insects, but I'm just not. Again, I have low T maybe, but
yeah.
Australia is just an intimidating place. We went and stayed at the last time I was there. We stayed at the Clear Mountain Lodge, and again the Indiana Jones references. But in the Temple of Doom, when there are all the insects all over everything, he has to reach in through the thing of insects she has to open the door or whatever. The stick insects at the Clear Mountain Lodge, unbelievable. I mean, and you had to touch them; they'd be on your doorknob and stuff. They're like the size of a raccoon.
Alice got this humongous fake spider, and she keeps putting it on my pillow and stuff, and I'm like, and I freak out every time. And then last night I came home from work, and everyone was asleep, and she had put it on the screen door, and I went to put my key in, and it was like, oh shit, she got me again. And then I opened the door, and it fucking scurried away so fast. It was the biggest huntsman spider. I was like, oh, thank God I thought that was a fake. Otherwise, I'd be locked out.
Oh, God.
So I've got some more information about our good friend Jared Baden Clay.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, let's hear it. Let's get in. So let's buckle down. Crack open a beer if you're listening.
For all those people who skip, I mean, if you're skipping for quality, you're not going to find it. So
just skip to a different podcast.
Skip until the next one comes on.
But if you're looking for the meat and bones, here we find ourselves.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm talking. I've got most of this information from the Gold Coast Bulletin, but the reason why I liked it is because it kind of confirmed all those things that I was saying that I didn't know last time. So anyway, this
Jared Baden Clay.
Jared Baden Clay. So Alison Baden Clay went missing, and the morning after she kind of went missing, he called 000, which is 911 over here, and he said, "I don't want to be an alarmist," which all of it, immediately makes me think you're an asshole. Yeah. I don't want to be an alarmist. Fuck you. Fuck. Yeah. What a dick. She went for a walk but never returned. The last time he saw her, she was watching the Footy Show, and he had gone to bed.
The what show?
He woke up. The Footy Show. So the Footy Show is a show about football, which even football fans I don't even think watch. Like, it's a bullshit show.
Football as in soccer, or is football rugby there?
Footy as in Australian rules football, I think.
Okay.
Or, I don't know, some other ball sport, which I'm a low T individual. I don't watch that stuff.
The team from my town is better than the team from your town in sports.
Yes. I like the red team. So
we watch a lot of Forensic Files.
Yeah, I like Broadway musicals. In
Hamilton.
Yeah, it's really good. You guys, it's not gay. You should just listen to it. In Australia, someone goes missing every 15 minutes, so that's 35,000 people per year. But most are found
2 days.
a week.
Yeah.
No, every 15 minutes it says.
No, I was just kidding. You said 35,000. I said every 2 days.
But most are found within a week. I don't know why the numbers are so high. I feel like that's a high number.
Because the country's so big and there's so much space. And they're all probably out of gas on some cattle road in the middle of Perth.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I figured, is that it's just that they've gone for a bushwalk and they just got lost. I don't think that they're all abductions. So he calls the cops. They arrive at 8 a.m. And he was already dressed for work. And he had
Well, he didn't want to be an alarmist.
No, he didn't want to be an alarmist. No, I don't mean to be an alarmist.
I think this is my favorite part of the story, though, that he's all scratched up.
Yeah, and he was gouges all over his face, and they immediately thought of foul play.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, they've described them as angry lines down his right cheek to his jaw. And he's told them that he's cut himself shaving. Now,
With my fingernails.
Yes.
You guys don't pluck?
Don't
forget to water my fucking azaleas.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, it's just Christmas presents for the kids. So Allison had found out that recently that Jared had been having an affair. And then when the boss cop, whoever that was, they told me names in the thing, but I was like, no one gives a shit. Boss cop came to introduce herself. Jared cut him off and said, I cut myself shaving. So it's like, g'day, mate. My name's Officer. I've cut myself shaving. All right, buddy.
Just a public safety tip. Lots of people have affairs. You don't need to murder your spouse. You can just get something called a divorce.
Yeah. It's a thing that you can do.
Accidents happen. People make mistakes. Get a divorce. Don't kill.
Yeah.
Don't kill your spouse.
Yeah. It's not necessary.
No. Unnecessary in this day and age.
Yeah,
you're not Henry VIII.
Kill them now.
Do you think Henry VIII, he'd get like Anne Boleyn's head and he's like, cut herself shaving? I'm pretty sure that's murder, sir. She just cut herself shaving.
Well, get this. Okay, so he... Look, no, she's okay. She's okay. Her eyes are still moving. Okay, so get this. I mean, I love my wife. I could not imagine sending this bullshit to her. So at 6:20 in the morning, he sent her a text saying, "Good morning. I hope you slept well. Where are you? None of the girls are up yet. Love, G." So, how
about, "Good morning. This is my alibi text from your husband."
Yes.
To show that I'm a loving, caring individual.
And even though my number is most likely in your phone, I'm going to sign off with my name.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Like, dumb.
What a dick.
Then he used the Find My iPhone app and sent her another text saying, "Al, getting concerned. Where are you? The app doesn't say either. 2 of the girls are up now. I'm dressed and about to make lunches. Please just text back or call. Love,
now,
G."
I'm going to tell you something. As a amateur writer, and I've written a compendium of unpublished works
yeah.
nobody's interested in. It's hard to write, like conversation when you're getting started. That's the hardest thing, to write conversation between 2 people, because you have to remember not to have them name each other all the time. How many times have I said, "Dan, I think we should do this"?
Yeah.
Because you know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And so unless you're a professional writer, you should not send an alibi text after you murder your spouse. Public service announcement number 2. Public service announcement 1, don't murder your spouse. But if you ignore announcement 1, announcement 2 is, unless you're a professional writer, don't try and write an alibi text, because you sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. But
it's just embarrassing.
Like, if Erin went missing, I'd try calling her first. I'm not going to try texting her and saying, "Yo, where are you?" I'd be like, I'd call her, I'd leave a message saying, "Erin, where are you? You're not in bed. I'm worried." And then you'd send a text saying, "I'm really worried. Where are you? Call me."
I don't even know if I'd send that. I'd say, "Where you at?" And then I'd be like, are you taking the kids to school tomorrow? And then if I still didn't hear back, I'd be like, "Where's Jack's lunch?"
Well, and then
do I have to actually make it?
Just to make sure that, she wasn't just ignoring you, you'd write something like, "Do I need to water the lettuce this morning?"
Yeah.
So, and then if she didn't text back, you'd be like, "Whoa, I'm calling the cops."
I'd be more angry. I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like, what am I? Do I water them or not? Fuck you.
I know I gained weight. Dad's been sick. It's been stressful for me. Fuck off. You're not allowed to just leave. None of us get out that easy.
Yeah, for better or worse, bitch.
That'd be my immediate assumption. Yeah.
Enjoy hell. You've taken that vow in front of Christ.
We were in a house of God.
You said the words, "I do."
Yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy if all divorcees end up in hell? It would just be like, you know what it'd be like? It'd be like an old people's singles mixer.
It would be the worst.
Yeah.
Actually, that probably is hell. And especially if you weren't divorced, you just get sent to where all the divorcees go.
Oh, yeah.
And you just have to, they're like, so listen, Dan, your job is to just listen to Karen talk about her ex.
Yeah. He was a drunk.
He was a liar. And he lied to me all the time. You know,
Men are pigs.
I caught him with lipstick on his collar. Like, oh, I'm sorry. No, you don't understand. Like, oh,
you don't even
right.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't even pretend.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
I've had 4 Cosmopolitans, and I'm ready to tell you my life story about my husband. He was a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah, man, you can't trust him. You can't trust them.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. No, you don't know. You don't. You gotta. Only me. Only I know. Because I lived it.
So anyway, old mate Jared said that he'd answer all scratched up.
Cut
Said he'd answer
shaving.
all the police questions. Then promptly changed his mind and asked to speak to his lawyer. Now, I don't have a problem with this.
Yeah. Well, no, don't even answer the police questions. Just say, look, I watched Making a Murder. Now, you don't even have to be rude. I would just say, look, I've been following the Dennis Olin trial. I think I don't have anything to hide. I'd rather do this with a lawyer present and take our time with the answers so that you don't think I'm up to something.
Yeah.
Because there's a killer out there.
I know that the police are like, oh, he's asked for his lawyer. He's, lawyering up. But I'm like, I'm really stressed right now, and I'll probably say some shit that I don't mean. So let's just get my lawyer. Then there comes the problem of finding a lawyer.
I know. Here's the thing. I often think about this situation. If I was in that situation, I would have a really hard time reconciling my need to not go to prison with my cheapness and unwillingness to pay for an expensive lawyer.
Especially if you're innocent, right? Like, if you're innocent, you're like, there's no way that they're going to find me guilty for this because I didn't do it. Why would I need a lawyer?
That's what we all want to think.
Yeah, but the truth is that, you know what I love? I love how, like, I listen to My Favorite Murder, and they're always like, don't be polite, all this, like, for protection of the women. And you and I are here conversing about just get your lawyer because look, mate, you're the husband and you're immediately suspect number 1.
Everyone thinks you did it. Yeah.
But like I'm coming from a place of I didn't do it because I wouldn't do it.
You have no interest in doing it.
Yeah, but at the same time, regardless of what you think, the cops immediately think it's you. It's always the husband.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he decided that he wasn't going to go out for the search the next day.
Are those cicadas in the background?
Oh, yeah, cicadas. It's hot as fuck. It's like 35 degrees right now, and it's not even noon yet.
Listen to those Australian insects. It's just
piercing. Just waiting to fly into your hair and get caught in your ear canal. They'll get you. So, he didn't go on the search because he had an urgent doctor's appointment for his face. So essentially the doctor told him that there was no treatment needed because they were superficial.
They're just claw marks from a woman's hand.
Yes.
No, don't put that in the file. It's from shaving.
He said that he was in a rush and it may have been multiple swipes with the razor. He wasn't sure. Like, I've cut myself with a razor before and you know it. Like, it's like, ow, oh, and then you don't think it's that bad, and you keep going. But
have you ever put toilet paper on it to get it to stop bleeding, and then forgotten about it and gone to work with toilet paper stuck to your face?
No, but I
like
have
a dingleberry.
I have been really sweaty in a consult once, and all we had to wipe my face with was Kleenex, and I wiped it, and all the little bits of Kleenex stuck to my face. So that was memorable. So he told her the real reason he was there was to get a document of his injuries, as police told him, because the police told him to, but they hadn't. He insisted the doctor make notes that the scratches were from shaving, but she wouldn't. So
listen, I really need you to say that this is from a razor. You're my doctor.
Yeah, you have an obligation to put it.
You have an obligation to lie to the police.
Yes.
On my behalf.
So then back at the police station, he was told to remove his shirt, and the police found that he had multiple scratches, not just on his on his face, but also on his neck. And
what was that from?
Well, a caterpillar had landed on him, and he scratched it away.
This guy's got an answer for everything. He's a criminal mastermind.
Yeah. That's
from the caterpillar.
Yeah, crazy story. Terrible day. Scratched myself shaving, and then a caterpillar of all things landed on my neck. And what was a man to do but scratch it away down to the bone with his fingernails?
There was a caterpillar attack after my shaving accident.
Yes. They were drawn to the smell of blood, like sharks in the ocean.
A lot of people don't realize that about caterpillars.
Yes.
They're vampire caterpillars.
The carnivorous caterpillar of
Sir,
Brisbane.
Caterpillars eat leaves. I was wearing a green shirt with pictures of leaves on it. The caterpillar must have been confused.
Yeah, he jumped up to my neck and started immediately feeding on me.
It was a jumping caterpillar. Did I mention that?
Yeah. He also had scratches on his right armpit, left chest, and a cut on his right palm. He drove the car.
What did his dick look like?
So he had. So after this, so they documented all this, and then, as you said, this criminal mastermind was like, "Fuck, how am I going to cover this shit up?" Oh, I know. I'll drive into a bus pylon at the bus terminal. So he tried to cover up his old injuries with new ones.
How do we throw good money after bad?
Yeah. I know. Now that they've got that information, maybe I should try to make it worse with this other injury.
I think people would have more sympathy if I ran over a bunch of people. I'm going to do that. I'll say the gas got stuck.
Yes. I fell asleep at the wheel. This is terrible. So, yeah. So that's the story. That's the parts that I hadn't had. So he's
what's going on now with him?
Well, recently they've just called it a mistrial, and
No.
I think they're going to retry him because some of the jurors on the last jury had criminal records or something like that, which you'd think that you would check on before you started the trial. But
one of the jurors had already written a novel, it turned out, called "The Stupidest Man in Australia" about Jared.
Yeah, like what an idiot. Just
wouldn't it be crazy if it turned out that he was innocent and somebody else actually killed the wife and it confessed to it?
But it would be like crazy.
We'd be like, we are the worst podcasters of all time.
Well, but yeah, but he.
Now maybe this is libelous what we're saying about him, but he just seems like a fucking moron.
Yes, this is
a complete
all,
dev.
What do you call it? Speculation.
I'm surprised he was capable of figuring out how to murder somebody, because it actually does take some effort, especially if they're awake enough to fight back, to kill somebody. I'm surprised the wife didn't end up standing over his cold dead corpse. This guy can't do anything right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know where we're at now, but I'm pretty sure that's what I've seen recently on the news, is that he's being retried. So.
Do you follow any of the Canadian news? Have you been watching the Dennis Olin thing?
I know that he's gone back to trial. Maybe it was Dennis Olin that they said it was a mistrial.
Yeah, see, Dennis Olin had a mistril declared.
Oh, yeah. I take that all back. He's in jail for the murder of his wife.
Well, that was a well-researched story.
So take the little bits from last episode, add them to this episode, and somewhere in between is the truth.
The truth. Yeah. It was Dennis Olin who was attacked by a caterpillar.
Bit his father's head clean off.
Yeah. Or was that Henry VIII? Anyway, or a praying mantis. I can't remember. They're all the same. So I missed doing the supernatural ones.
Yeah.
So I went full supernatural this time. This is a weird one.
Okay.
So this is the story of Dorothy Louise Eady, and also known as Om Seti. So Dorothy
right.
Om Seti. I was gonna do. I had a couple. Actually, there's some pretty cool local ghost stories that I kind of wanted to get into, but this one's a little more documented, and I like the stuff that's kind of could be real better. So Dorothy Louise Eady was she was born in London into a sort of poor Irish family back in 1904, and her dad was a tailor, and her mother did something else. She was a stay-at-home mom, maybe. I'm making that up, but my notes don't cover that. Anyway, when she was 3 years old, she fell down the stairs and stopped breathing, and she was actually declared legally dead and put in this bedroom while they were waiting for, I guess,
what year was this in?
So 1907, I guess, or right. 1907, 1908.
So the declaration of death was not as scientific as it would be today.
Yeah, she was declared dead with no instrumentation to prove it. But
she's not moving much. Dead.
Not dead. Oh, I think she's dead, Gov. Well, that's number 8 this year.
Put her in the coffin.
Yeah. Too bad we didn't invent antibiotics yet. Anyway, so she fell down the stairs, declared dead, and then obviously woke up afterwards, or this wouldn't be much of a story. Some kid fell down the stairs and died. The end. But she started developing some pretty weird behavior things when she got home, and from the hospital. And after her accident, she developed something called foreign accent syndrome. And you know, like when you went to Australia and you started calling people mate and blokey blokes and stuff like that. This is different. This is like she's never heard an Egyptian accent, but she developed an Egyptian.
Whoa, sorry.
Where did that come from?
Just hit my head.
I fell down the stairs earlier, and I think I might be Samoan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to tell you this because it's the best. Even though it probably won't make sense, but if everyone needs to look up Vines on YouTube because they're the best. But my favorite is
they used to be little
like 6.5 seconds
Twitter videos.
Yeah. So this awesome. I love this guy. He's like, oh, I love your accent. Where are you from? I am Liberian. Oh, sorry. I love your accent. Where are you from? I love that one. Okay,
that's quite clever. Anyway, so Dorothy developed this accent, and she had issues at church. She compared Christianity with heathen Egyptian religion that she said was her religion, and she ended up being expelled from school after refusing to sing a hymn that called on God to curse the swart Egyptians.
Oh my God.
I don't know that hymn. Is it the one by Cat Stevens?
The swart Egyptians. Yes.
Yeah, This Is My Father's World. The Cat Stevens one.
Yeah.
Man, he really did a 180. What's his name now? Ibrahim Allah
Yusuf.
Muhammad Yusuf. It's funny, there's so many Arab guys named Muhammad. There aren't a lot of white people named Jesus.
No, but there's a lot of Johns.
Well, there are a lot of like Mexican Jesuses, I suppose.
Oh yeah, Jesus. Yeah. I don't know. I think because we're like that's a bit much.
Yeah. We need a biblical name. Let's call him God.
Well, actually, I do know an Emmanuel.
Yeah, I suppose. And what's your kid's name, Elijah? What's your kid's name? What's my nephew's name? You know, my only nephew. Yeah. I guess I have nephews through marriage too, so it's forgivable. But
Yeah.
but Elijah's not he was a prophet, right? He wasn't a
Yeah.
he wasn't Jesus.
No, he wasn't Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful baby. I think we should call him Jesus Christ.
Of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, are you guys super religious? No, I just like those commercials. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Mormons.
I think it'd be nice. JC, it sounds really cool as a shortening of the name. Yeah.
What would Jesus do? He'd probably go skateboarding and skip his homework. Not that Jesus, the other Jesus. Anyway, a little sacrilegiousness for you on this lovely Sunday evening. On the Sabbath, no less.
Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah. Cyber Monday for you.
Yeah.
The Shabbos for me. No, that's Saturday. I don't know.
Shabbos is on Friday.
Anyway, I'd love to know what hymn calls God to curse the swart Egyptians. I like that they call them swart. Is that because they're swarthy?
Must be. I was thinking, like, what does that mean? Must mean dark-skinned.
What a bizarre... man, the early 1900s were hilarious.
I believe that Jesus, like, would have been swarthy.
Well, there's a lot of sun in the Middle East. Pretty much everyone's pretty dark all the time. But he's also
Middle Eastern. Like, it's not like...
Yeah, well, he's Jewish.
Unless,
I assume.
Unless, of course, you're a Seventh-day Adventist.
Or, what are they?
Wait. Yeah, Mormon. That's the one I was looking for. Mormon.
Well, no, they still think Jesus is from the Middle East.
He just buried the gold plates in America.
He was from Yonkers. No, yeah, there was a third coming or a second coming of Jesus to the natives, and then they found all the clues about it in a hat.
Yeah,
was,
only visible from inside a hat,
and only one guy can see it. The guy who makes all the money from the church. Anyway, not to be too critical.
Not corrupt.
I mean, listen, my religion's crazy too. I fully recognize that in any other situation, if somebody said, oh yeah, this guy, the Son of God, he was born 2,000 years ago in a cattle barn, and he's around for about 33 years, and then he flew up into heaven, I'd say, well, that's pretty crazy.
No, that's not the part that I find crazy. What I find crazy is he asked us for you to give us 10% of everything that you earned.
It's called tithing.
Yeah,
it's for the best.
As our previous pastor used to say, if you don't tithe, you're stealing from the church. And I was like, I'm not part of this church anymore. Yeah. I didn't make any money back then, but I was like, this is stupid.
I also would like to point out that the government takes almost all of what we make. So, yes. You know what? The church used to build roads and stuff. You guys are getting it pretty easy. You run the soup kitchen and you pay your heating bill and your mortgage. We'll tithe enough for that.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's my complaint about the church. So anyway, back to Dorothy Eady. So she had this weird accent. She did not want to curse the swart Egyptians and got kicked out of school for it. And her parents ended up taking her to the British Museum. And she went totally ballistic at the Egyptian exhibit. Now, this was just at the time. What was the guy's name? Carter? Who was discovering the pyramids. And there was
Jimmy
Egyptian
Carter?
fever. Yes, Jimmy Carter. No, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who... Anyway. It was a big... Archaeologists were like superheroes at the time. They were celebrated.
I mean, if you've got Egyptian fever, you're probably just in denial.
That's a terrible joke. That's quite good. Anyway, so she saw this photograph in the New Kingdom Temple exhibit room, and she said she looked at this photograph of the ruins, and she said, that is my home, but where are the trees? Where are the gardens? And it was the temple of Seti the First, the father of Ramses the Great. And if you remember, there are like 12 Ramses, but Ramses was like the big pharaoh, right?
Yeah.
The head honcho.
Yeah. Predecessor to Ramses the Good.
Anyway, then she ran around the exhibit kissing the feet of the statues all through the Egyptian room. To me, it sounds like a 5-year-old out of control, but
it sounds like
Jack would do that
in a schizophrenic sort of episode.
Yeah, the guards were probably like, "Oh, she can't touch the." They're like, "I'm sorry, she's a reincarnated Egyptian."
Yes. Yes.
Oh, anyway,
so she knew this guy.
Yeah, yeah. This is her father. This is her temple. Anyway, she met this guy named E.A. Wallace Budge, who was he was the British Museum's archaeologist, and he was really taken with her and encouraged her to study Egyptian, like ancient Egypt, and to learn hieroglyphs. So, I'm going to yada through World War One, but she did continue to study Egypt, and then she started describing when she was a teenager having nocturnal emissions. No, nocturnal. I don't know why those two words go together instantly. As soon as I say one, I have to say the other. Nocturnal visits from the mummy of Pharaoh Seti. I don't know why he would come as a mummy. Anyway, her behavior coupled with sleepwalking, she had nightmares. She ended up being taken to insane asylums. It says in my notes sanatoriums, but I thought those were for people with tuberculosis. So I assume it means the asylum.
Yeah. Like
anyway,
I feel like was a sanitarium.
Yeah. So eventually, okay, time passes. She some other things happen. She is very fond of the Egyptians. She plays an Egyptian in a high school play, and apparently that's a big deal.
She does that walk.
She started working at it, with one hand forward, one back,
That's how she walks around.
Yeah, those were, that came out in the 80s, and I remember going to an Egyptian party, and our parents
at the public library.
Maybe
it was. It was, because that's what my memory is too.
I just remember Dad looking like a drug runner, or like a, because he does look Egyptian, really. Probably going back, probably because he has hemochromatosis. Looks like a swart Egyptian.
Shit. I was always thinking, like, how come I'm so fair and Dad's so tanned?
Hemochromatosis. Crazy.
Give it time. If only I had that and not the fucking liver issues. Yeah.
Well, they go together, but eventually it all leads to pancreatic cancer. Don't worry about it, dog. Don't worry. Anyway, she met her husband, and I'll give you a guess at his nationality.
Was his name Ra?
Very close. Iman Abdel Megwid. I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably pronounced just like that.
Megwid.
Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Iman Iguel Admid.
Imam. Now, no matter what I do, if I sound like myself, I sound like a racist, and if I try and sound like, I'm part of the culture that we're talking about, I also sound like a racist. You can't really win.
No.
But,
you do the white guy pretty well.
Yeah, except everybody just assumes all the white guys are racists.
I know, they don't know that we're two, black guys.
According to Ancestry and me.
Yeah, I'm 1/50th.
Yeah.
African American.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not. I don't think I am.
I think we would be the only two people on there that are the 100% white.
Yeah,
they'd be like,
white.
"Oh, can we use you guys as an example?"
Yes.
Nobody's ever tested so purely
You've got
boring
the original
before.
hemochromatosis gene.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow, all your ancestors are so ugly. It's incredible. Is there anyone exotic in there? Well, your great-great-grandfather had a lot of moles. Your grandmother had 3 chins.
And 4 nipples.
Yeah. In our only picture of her, she has a piece of fried chicken sticking out of one of her chin levels.
Gross.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I keep thinking of Harry Potter's adopted parents. Every time I think of what our ancestors looked like.
Oh, yeah. Except instead of Petunia, it would be Vernon and Aunt Marge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Pretty much.
So they moved to English. She was a English. They moved to English. She became an English teacher. They moved to Egypt. When she arrived in Egypt, she kissed the ground and announced that she had come home to stay.
And then she spit sand for an hour and a half.
Yeah. They had a son. They lived in Cairo. They had a son. She named the son Seti, of course, because she was convinced that she was the reincarnated daughter from the temple of Seti or Seti the First or whatever. Anyway, so Seti is Egyptian for mother of Seti, and that's what she changed her name to. Lovely. So Dorothy Eady became Seti. She met George Reisner's secretary. I don't know who that is, but the secretary said that she apparently had the ability to charm snakes and do magic spells. Of course.
Of course.
Anyway, some other stuff happened. She kept being visited by Hor-Ra. Again, I'm not... Hor-Ra is this nighttime apparition that appeared to her. And he apparently told her about her previous life, which she then wrote all about in hieroglyphics in a 70-page document.
Right.
And
I know for a fact that Hor-Ra was the god of celebration. So
absolutely, that's where we get that. Also, fuck off was the god of disapproval. Anyway, there's this whole backstory about her previous life, but it really, to boil it down, she was some priestess in an Egyptian temple. It's actually, the story's quite good. So she was a priestess in an Egyptian temple who unknowingly took a vow of virginity to become this priestess. But then she was visited by, of course, a pharaoh who impregnated her, and then the high priest found out about it, and she knew they were going to kill her, and then she committed suicide. So it's a very Shakespearean... I mean, she taught English. She probably studied a lot of Shakespeare. This sounds like something right out of a Shakespeare play.
Well, it also sounds like a schizophrenic person that...
Well, no, it's too organized. It's a good story. It's a good story. Anyway, I'm being very coy here because some weird shit did actually happen. So I thought that all this was complete horseshit, and I still, like, full disclosure, believe that. But there were some Egyptologists working there. She ended up getting divorced, and she went into some of the excavation sites around where she is said to have lived in her previous life, and she could draw and index and proofread stuff that they were doing, and then kind of predict where they should dig in order to find hallways and find different parts of different temples where she said she'd been in her previous life. Which, I mean, it's a pretty crazy story. And
what was her success rate?
Well, according to the articles I read, it would have been 100%, but obviously they don't really write about the 940 times she said, "Oh, if you dig here, you'll find another version of the Sphinx," and they dig for like, they spend $1 million and 600,000 man hours and then dig up nothing but old bag of dirty diapers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like, oh, sorry, no. Time has done weird things to my brain. It's over here.
Anyway, she was super into this ancient Egyptian religion. She was still practicing this religion, and it's pretty weird story. But she, they, of course, the people who want to believe, right? There are people who want to believe in reincarnation, so they put her up as the main example of reincarnation.
Maybe the reason why she fell down the stairs was because that spirit was possessing her body just at that moment. She lost her balance.
Could be. Or maybe the spirit of Seti was just hanging out for a kid to jump into.
Get
involved with. Why she was in London? I don't know. Maybe she went there with the exhibit.
Yeah.
And just kind of explored London.
Yep. Pimp my ride.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Another crazy story.
Yeah, it didn't really. It kind of rambled and then didn't go anywhere. But you know what? It was a little bit interesting to me. The fact that she could go in there and find some shit for them to dig up was kind of interesting. And that stuff's documented.
Yeah.
You know.
I just want. I mean, you were at the Loyalist burial ground the other day, looking for Patrick, and I take it, none, no sightings.
No, that's true. I went back to the Loyalist burial ground after our first haunting experience.
Yeah.
I finally braved up and went back, and I did not see homeless Bruce this time.
No. Did you see
in
any
fairness,
beaver?
it was snowing. There were lots of beavers down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd love to do another ghost tour. Are you coming back in
2019?
January?
Sometime in 2019. I don't know yet.
We need to book a ghost tour for 2019.
Yeah, but where? Where we go?
I don't know. Maybe we should actually do like a one of the things where they go out with the little thing that goes through the radio stations. It goes, go away.
yeah.
I forget what those are called. Spirit box. I want to do a cheesy movie where somebody turns on the spirit box and then it's all going through the thing and they're like, oh, did you hear that? Oh, did it say something? And then this really clear voice comes on and it's like, you're making it up.
Yeah. Winston.
Exactly. Echo. Winston.
I've been trying to watch scary movies.
We haven't done any live tweets or anything lately.
No, but nothing scares me. I thought that
The Ring.
No, I've watched it. Nothing. I haven't watched
Have you seen The Exorcist?
No, I was going to say I haven't watched The Exorcist only because it's so sacrilegious that I know. I just feel like I probably shouldn't.
What about that other one, Hereditary? Was that freaky or not?
I don't think I watched Hereditary. I don't like blood and gore. I want to be scared.
It's not blood and gore. It's scary.
Oh, I know that there's another one where this chick eats all this human meat, but I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the French one. That's kind of like a.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Homily on bath salts.
Digestive or something like that.
Yeah. Hungry or hunger or something.
Yeah. That one looks like I'm not into the I appreciate art movies and I appreciate psychological thrillers and stuff, but man, honestly, I'm watching Mythbusters and like listening to True Crime Garage and just taking it easy lately. I don't do any intensity in my media. I guess the one weird thing is when you fall asleep listening to True Crime Garage, you have some pretty fucked up dreams. Or if you're listening to if you're watching BuzzFeed Unsolved videos.
Yeah.
Just because of the music, right?
I'll watch those and then I'll watch some Safia or Try Guys or Men Try, and then hit the ASMR really hard and then go to sleep.
He's rocking that ASMR lately.
Yeah, boom. Booyah. Or as I like to say, booyah.
Hey, it's weird. On my list here, I've been the screensaver was on, but I just came back on, and it says guest HJ. That's me.
Yeah.
Then there's One Foot in the Grave podcast under that, and then another One Foot in the Grave podcast under that.
That's bizarre. I don't know why yours does that.
Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know who HJ is, but hey, John.
Hey, John. And I again am getting a lot of background noise, like your computer's not grounded. But
grand.
You know what?
Has it been going on this whole time?
Whole time.
Awesome. Well, maybe
I'm not
we'll do this again tomorrow.
I'll come up with a better one. I've actually researched a few things in the meantime. I sent you one that was kind of cool. A coded message found in the dead guy's pocket. Yeah. That was, maybe we could talk about that sometime.
Yeah, it was good. But, and then I decoded it for you.
That was crazy. And you know what? When you decoded it, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely right. But then it turned out you just looked it up on the internet.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I wanted to keep it going, but then I was like, yeah, I don't want to like take credit for this.
He's like, holy shit, you need to call the FBI right now.
Yeah,
That's
it was
really...
a sex list. It was a sex list the whole time.
Well, I wonder if the people... Well, I don't want to get too into the story because we're, obviously not doing that one today. But I do wonder if he was a known, pedophile or a serial killer of some kind.
Yeah, and he was trying to...
And the people in his family were... Because he was borderline illiterate, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're looking at it and they're like, oh, yeah, it says, I killed a nurse in a trailer.
Yeah.
And we don't want to talk about it because...
Yeah. Because he's dead now. Yeah.
Family shame.
Yeah. All right, well, weirdos... Send us your true crime stories and your ghost stories, for heaven's sakes.
I'd love to get some ghost stories, guys.
Yeah.
My weirdo friends.
Yeah. Well, so you can find us on onefootinthegravepodcast.weebly.com. That's the best way to find all of our links. All of the links...
We're on Stitcher, too. I listen on Stitcher now.
Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, and then our website. So...
And you can get us on Facebook and Twitter. And we're at True Crime Bros.
Well, that's just on Twitter.
That's on Twitter. On Facebook, we're One Foot in the Grave Podcast.
Word.
Anyway, we will try to do one a week. I think we've been bi-weekly, but we got to step up our game a little bit. Yeah. Also, it's the only joy in my life is this podcast.
So send us some true crime stories. Dicks.
Yeah. Give Jake something to live for.
All right, bye.
See ya.